Hello everyone, welcome to another video of Advanced Mathematics of Class 10, and today we are going to start complex numbers. This is chapter 2. So let's see what we have to do here. So first of all, we need to understand, before we understand complex numbers, we need to understand another concept called the imaginary number. Now what is an imaginary number? So before we directly dive into that, let us see one equation. So suppose we have an equation that says x square plus 1 is equal to 0. So x square plus 1 equals 0. So what is the value of x here? The value of x is x square equals to minus 1. And we have x equal to plus minus of root over minus 1. Okay. Now if you look into the solution, it's of one type. But if you look into the equation itself, x square will be a positive number, right? The value of x square will be positive because it is a square. Plus we have 1. 1 is a positive number. Sum of two positive numbers is equal to 0. Is it possible? For the numbers in the real world, is it possible to have two positive real numbers which are added up to get 0? It's not possible. So you look at the answer that we get here. X is equal to square root of minus 1. Square root of minus 1 means this number, this minus 1, can it be the square of any number? Minus 1 cannot be the square of any number, right? Because any number square, or minus 1 can't be perfect square, because every perfect square is actually a positive number. So this number that we get here, since the value of x here just cannot be a real number, so this value, root over minus 1, is an imaginary number. And this root over minus 1 is taken as I. So I is the imaginary number. What is the value of I? Value of I is root over minus 1. Because why is it imaginary? Because for any real number, this equation is not possible itself. This equation is just not possible because you cannot add two positive numbers to get 0. So that means the value of x cannot be real. So it has to be imaginary. And this imaginary value is root over minus 1. And root over minus 1 is what we consider as I. So I is an imaginary number. So what is a pure imaginary number, or a pure any number of the form AI? A is a constant, obviously A is a constant. So any number of the form AI is a pure imaginary number. For example, I write 2i or minus 4i or root 7i. These numbers contain are purely imaginary. Now, what do we mean by complex numbers? Means the chapter's name that we have here. What do we mean by this complex number? Now, complex number means a combination of real and imaginary part. So, what is the real part? Suppose we write 2 plus I. Here 2 is the real part and I is the imaginary part. So therefore 2 plus I is a complex number. Similarly, we can write 5 plus 3i, where 5 is the real part and 3i is the imaginary part, right? So therefore 5 plus 3i is also a complex number. So that means the standard form of a complex number is a plus ib, where a and b are obviously constants and I is our root over minus 1, and we must make sure that b is not equal to 0, because if b is 0, then this part, the imaginary part, becomes 0 and we get a real number. So this is the standard form of a complex number. So I hope the basic idea of of complex numbers is clear to you from this page. So we started off with how do we get what is the imaginary number. We get the imaginary number. Then we see what is a pure imaginary number. This type of numbers are called pure imaginary numbers of the form AI. Then we have seen what are complex numbers and the standard form of a complex number. So now let us look into how do we solve these numbers. So let us start with exercise 2.1. As we go along the exercise, we are going to meet some new concepts, and why I am not explaining it before and because it will get very boring to just only understand the concepts. So let's start off with the exercise. Let's do a few sums, and as we go along the way, we will understand the different concepts, okay? So we have to start with exercise 2.1 and let's see what have we got. Number 1 is identify the imaginary numbers from the following. So if you take a book and if you see the different numbers given, you have to identify which are imaginary. For example, root over minus 9. So what can we write here? Root over minus 9 can be written as root over minus 1 into root over 9, obviously. Then root over minus 1 is I and this is 3. So we get 3i, which is an imaginary number, of course, because we have an imaginary number I here. So it is an imaginary number. Done. This is number A. I hope you understood. This part is clear, I hope, because root 9 means root over minus 1 into 9. So minus 1 is minus 1 here and we get 9 here, okay. So next up is, let's take another number, for example number C, and we have here minus 3 into root minus 3 into root minus 4. Okay, so from root minus 3, that means it is root over minus 1 into 3, and this is root over minus 1 into 4. So this one will be, root 3 will stay inside the root and minus 1 will become I, right, into this root over 4 into I. So now root over 4 means 2 and root 3 is root 3. So it is root 3i into 2i sine. So we can write 2 root 3i square. Now what is I square? What is the value of I? The value of I is root over minus 1. So let me write here that I square means root over minus 1 whole square. That is square root will cancel, so the answer is minus 1. So that means I square can be written as 2 root 3 into minus 1. So it is minus 2 root 3. Is there any imaginary part available? No. That means this is not an imaginary number. Rather it is a real number. Okay, so that's how we do these sums. Let us try one more. Let us try question number H. So let's try question number H. What do we have here? Minus I whole cube into minus I whole to the power 4. Okay. So obviously, since it is negative and we have a cube, so it will stay negative, it will become I cube into minus has a positive power. So minus will become plus and I to the power 4. Now look at this is root over, I to the power 3. So let me write something here for you to understand. How do we find? See, I square we have got minus 1, right? From here. Now what will be I cube? I cube can be written as I square into I. So I square into minus 1 into I, that is, it is always minus I. Similarly, what is I to the power 4? I to the power 4 can be written as I square whole square. I square is minus 1 whole square, so it is 1. So that means I cube can be written as minus I. So I cube is minus I and I to the power 4 is 1. So ultimately we get positive I into 1 is positive I, which is an imaginary number, of course. I hope you get it. So now look into one more thing. Any power of I which will be a multiple of 4. Suppose I to the power 8, I to the power 12, I to the power 16, I to the power 20. So any number which is a multiple of 12, which is a multiple of 4. If it is a multiple of 4, the value of all these is going to be 1. How you ask? Let's check. Suppose I to the power 12. It can be written as I to the power 4 whole cube. Now what is I to the power 4? I to the power 4 is 1. So 1 cube is 1. Similarly, suppose you want to see I to the power 20. So it is I to the power 4 whole to the power 5. So it is 1 to the power 5, which is 1. So any power of I which is a multiple of 4 is always 1. Okay? Chalo. So let's move on to the next one. This part is done. Let's move on to our next one. That is question number 2. What do we get in question number 2? We have to simplify. So let's start with number 1. I to the power 35 plus 1 by I to the power 31. Sorry, this is 31. So how do we do it? This I to the power 35 can be written as I to the power 32 into I cube. Now why did I write 32? Because 32 is a multiple of 4, so it will be easier for me to calculate. Here I can write I to the power 28 into I cube. 28 also a power of it is a power multiple of 4. So similarly 1 to the power I to the power 32, since it is a multiple of 4, what have we said? That if the numbers are multiples of 4, then all these numbers will have value 1. So let's apply that here. So we have I to the power 32 will be 1 into I cube. What is I cube? We have just found out the value of I cube. See, value of I cube is minus I. So we can apply that here as minus I. So similarly here 1 into minus I. So we have minus I plus 1 by minus I. So let us do one thing now. Let us rationalize the denominator of this. Rationalize. So minus I plus, we have to multiply this with I. So we'll get one I at the top, 1 into I. Minus I, this plus minus is minus. Here we will have 1 I square and here 1 I. So minus I minus, what do we get here? I square is minus 1 and it is I here. So minus I plus minus, minus minus plus I, these two will cancel out and we get 0. So the value of the first simplification is 0. Let's move on to our next one. Let us try number 3. What do we have here? The sums that I'm skipping in this are your homework. Okay, so try it out yourself. 1 plus I, here we have 1 plus I squared, 1 plus I cube and 1 plus I to the power 4. So 1 plus I will remain the same because we don't have any particular simple value of I. Here 1 plus I square is minus 1. We know that. Similarly 1 plus I cube is minus I and 1 plus I to the power 4, I to the power 4 is 1. We have seen that. Power is 4, so it is obviously 1. So here it is 1 plus I, this is 1 minus 1, this is 1 minus I and this is 2. So what we get here? 1 plus I into 0 into 1 minus I into 2. So since we have 0 here, so the answer will be 0. Done. Let us try one more. Let's try number 5. What's it? Number 5. 1 into root over minus 1, 2 root over minus 2 into 3 root over minus 3 into 4 root over minus 4. So what do we get here? 1i into 2 into root 2i into 3 into root 3i into 4 into root 4i. So all the powers that are in minus 1, root over minus 1, here we have root over minus 2. So root 2 stays here and the root over minus 1 part comes out as I. Root 3, from here root 3 will stay and that minus 1 that was inside comes out as I. Root 4 will stay as root 4 and the minus 1 inside comes out as I. So let me give you, if you are having confusion of how did I get this one, suppose how to turn this into this. So it is 2 root minus 2. So that means I will get 2 into root over minus 1 into 2. So 2 root over 2 will stay inside and then we have root over minus 1. So 2 root 2 and root minus 1 is I. So this is what we have got. So whenever you get numbers like this, suppose you get root over minus 11, you can write root 11 and the root over minus 1 inside becomes I. Okay, so that's a simple form. So now let us see what we do. How many i's do we have? 1, 2, 3 and 4. 4 i's. So and the numbers are, we have to multiply 1, 2 root 2 into 3 root 3 and 4 root 4 means 4 into 2. Root 4 is 2. And we have I to the power 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I to the power 4. So now let's multiply this part. 2 3s are 6. 6 4s are 24. 24 into 2s are 48. And here we have root over 2 into root over 3. That is root over 6. And I to the power 4 is 1. As we have seen earlier. So it is 48 root 6. That's how you get the answer. Hope the things are becoming clear now. How we solve the numbers, complex number sums. Let's move on to one more. Question number 3. Let's see how to do that. So express the following in A plus IB form. Question number 3. All the numbers that are given, you have to express them in A plus IB form. So let's see the number 1, which is very simple. So it is 2 minus root over minus 5. So here we can write 2 minus root over 5i. Right? As I said, root over minus 5 can be written as root over 5 and the root over minus 1 part comes out as I. So, and as they have asked A plus IB, so let's do that. So it will be A 2 plus root over minus 5 into I of the form A plus IB. Okay, simple. Let's move on to the next one. Suppose we go to number 2. Number 2 is root over minus 3 into root over minus 3 minus root over 3. So root over minus 3 is what? Root 3I, and this is minus root 3. So this can be written as minus root 3 plus root 3 into I. So here this is A and this is B. So of the form A plus IB. So we are doing it fine here. Let us move on to number 5. Let's check number 5. So it will be root over minus 2 minus root over minus 3 whole square. So root over minus 2 is root 2I and this is root 3I whole square. So now what we need to do is, this is like A minus B whole square. So let's go for it. A minus B whole square will be root 2I whole square minus 2 into root 2I into root 3I plus root 3I whole square. Okay, so this will be 2I square minus 2 root 6I square plus 3I square. So I square means minus 1 minus 2 root 6 again minus 1 plus 3 into minus 1. So we have minus 2 plus 2 root 6 minus minus plus, and this is minus 3. So it is minus 5 plus 2 root 6. Now where is the imaginary part? We don't have an imaginary part, so we will write it like minus 5 plus 2 root 6 plus 0 into I. So as we don't have I, so we will write 0 into I. So it is of the form A plus IB. Let us move on to another sum. The last one for the video. Number 7. So what do we have in question number 7? We have to find, okay, where n is a positive integer. So how do we do this? Let's go. It is minus 1 into root over minus 1, 4n plus 3. They have said n is a positive integer. So how do we write this? This is minus 1 into I, 4n plus 3. So it is minus I to the power 4n plus 3. So this can be written as minus I to the power 4n into minus I cube. Obviously, because the power is plus, so we can write this into this is the law of indices. So this one can be written as minus I to the power 4 whole to the power n into minus I whole cube. Now you see, negative value and the power is 4. So even power, so negative will become positive. And I to the power 4, that means we will write I to the power 4 whole to the power n into, this will obviously be minus I cube. Negative with odd power is always negative, and I cube. Now let's see. I to the power 4, as we have seen, value of I to the power 4 is 1. 1 to the power n into, this will be, my I cube is minus I. We have seen that earlier. So ultimately what do we get? We get 1 into I, which is I. So we can write 0 plus 1 into I. So of the form A plus IB. So in this video we have seen the very basics of complex number. So you try this out. The sums which I have not done are for you to do as homework. So try this out by yourself. Also, I would ask you to try and do question number 4, which I have not yet started. I'd ask you to do question number 4. Try question number 4 by yourself. Then when we come on to question number 4, you can check it out and see if you have done it correctly or not. Okay, so give it a try at question number 4. I hope you will be able to do it. So that's all for today's video. So thank you everyone for watching, and until next time, cheers.